Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Rohit. In this particular video, I'm going to walk you through on how to basically practically write a Python code in Jupyter Notebook. So before I show you, I would like to basically discuss about comments in Python. What is a comment? A comment is nothing but a line of code, which is written in English language, which basically tells what that particular line of code is doing. And these comments are basically divided into two. One is uh, single line comment and another one is multi-line comment. What is a single line comment? If for example, if you want to comment a single line which you basically have written, let us consider we have written here comment as basic arithmetic in single line, and we have commented it using a hashtag. In single line comment, basically our single lines are basically commented using hashtag. So here we have commented a single line wherein we have written basic arithmetic. So what this tells is it tells that we are basically performing an arithmetic addition operation on these two numbers 1 and 1 in order to get a result of 2. So but in order to there are multiple lines which are to be commented. So in order to do that, we can't go on specifying hashtags for each and every single line. So in order to overcome that, what we can do is we can basically use we can basically use triple quotes. Within the triple quotes, we can write multiple lines which basically comments out all the lines present within those triple quotes. If we specify anything within the triple quotes, then it is considered as docstring, and I'm going to discuss about this docstring in my upcoming videos when I talk about functions or any other built-in functions, etc. So in this cell number 2, I have basically commented basic arithmetic. So I am telling that I am going to perform a basic arithmetic addition of two numbers in order to get a result of 2, and I have basically performed the arithmetic addition for 1 and 1 in order to get the result of 2. So in order to run this code, what we do is we basically uh, hit shift and enter in order to run the code. And here in this cell, I am basically performing a subtraction of 2 and 1 in order to get a result of 1. Same here, I am basically performing a multiplication. And when it comes to division, irrespective if both the numbers specified here are of the type integer, but the division, whenever you basically divide the number with another number, it is going to return as the float value. As we are dividing 3 by 2, it is going to give the result of 1.5. But if at all we divide 1 by 1 with 1 also, we basically expect the output to be 1 as integer type. But irrespective of the operands present here, the division always returns float. And in order to basically perform any exponentiation operators, so basically to find the cube of the value, or to find the square of a value. For example, if you want to find the value of 2 cube, we have to basically write 2 star 3. That is the reason which basically gives us the value of 2 cube, that is 8. In order to basically find the value of 2 squared, we basically, instead of 3, we basically specify here 2, because 2 squared, or a squared, let us consider a squared. How do we basically denote a squared? A squared can be denoted as a to the power of 2. So that is the reason 2 squared. Let us consider a value to be 2 here. So 2 squared, 2 star 2, that is the reason 2 squared, which is 4. This is basically 2 star of 1 by 2 is nothing but it is basically used to find the value of root 2. Then whenever you basically find the value of root 2, the value of root 2 is 1.414. If at all you want to round the value of this root 2 to 2 decimals, then you can basically use a round function, and you can basically perform the same operation. 2 star of 2 star of 1 by 2 comma 2. So basically what round takes is, it will take the operation, or what we can do is we can basically give store this operation in a variable, and we can basically give the specify that variable in this round function, and this 2 is basically used to specify the output should be rounded to 2 decimals. So whenever you basically shift and enter, so it will basically as the previous output is 1.414, now after rounding it to 2 decimals the output is 1.41. So round function is basically used to round it to the nearest value. If at all we don't specify anything, then it is going to basically truncate the decimal part, and it is going to return only the. So if at all the value, if at all see, let us consider, if at all instead of 1.414, if at all the value is 1.51, and if we want to round it to the nearest value without specifying any how many decimals we want to round it to, then what we do is what we do is whenever we enter this, shift and enter, so basically if at all the decimal part is greater than 0.5, greater than or equal to 0.5, then it is going to round it to the next nearest integer. If at all the decimal part is less than so in this case the decimal part is 0.41, which is less than 0.5. So as it is less than 0.5, that is the reason it is rounding off to the nearest integer, that is 1. If at all it is 1.51 or 1.61, it is going to round it to the next nearest integer. Now next, order of operations. What are order of operations? So in our schooling in mathematics, we have learnt about a theorem known as Bodmer's theorem, and we have also learnt it while basically preparing for GRE, which is known as the PEMDAS. PEMDAS and Bodmer's are the same. So P as in P stands for parenthesis, E stands for exponentiation. I am going to write the same by adding a cell here. In order to add a cell, what we can do is you can click this plus mark. So P as in parenthesis, E as in exponent, M as in multiplication, D as in division, A as in addition, S as in subtraction. So based on this, the priority to the particular operator is given, subtraction. So this is how. So basically, if you directly execute this cell, it will be basically executing as a Python code, because this here we have 4 options wherein we can execute this particular cell as a code, or as a heading, or as a raw NB convert. We basically use this as a normal one. Markdown and headings are basically same, but in heading, as we are having in HTML different types of headings like H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6 tags, in the same way heading is also, we will be having different types of headings. If, for example, if you add one hashtag, if you see this order of operation, this is level 1 heading. If you want to have a look at level 2 heading, then you basically what you do is, in the new line, what you do is you basically do it, this is a level 2 heading, and this is a level 3 heading. So this is how you specify. So you can see the difference between level 1, level 2 and level 3. So if you directly run this cell, you are going to encounter an error, because this is not a code. So in order to convert this into a heading, what we can do is the shortcut for this the keyboard shortcut for this is to basically type escape and M. Whenever you basically type escape and M, then it gets executed automatically. So based on this PEMDAS, according to the PEMDAS, this basically gets executed. So in PEMDAS, so first priority is given to parenthesis. So first we have to check whether whenever a mathematical expression is given, we have to first check this PEMDAS according to this. So first parenthesis, we have to check whether in this particular mathematical expression parenthesis is there or not. Yes, here there is a parenthesis, and here also there is a parenthesis. So 1 plus 2, first it is going to take anything. First let us consider it is going to take this one. 1000 plus 1 is 1001 into 1 plus 2 is 3. 1001 into 3 is 3003. Next so that is the reason we are going to get the result of 3003. And in the same way for this expression as well, we are going to check whether the parenthesis is there. No. Exponents, no. Multiplication, no. Division, no. Addition, yes. We are adding two numbers. Subtraction is there, no. So addition, so 2 plus 3, that is the reason we are getting 5. And again we are going to check in the same way for this as well. Parenthesis, no. Exponent, no. Multiplication, no. Division, no. Addition, no. Subtraction, yes. We are subtracting, that is the reason. The last priority is given to subtraction, that is the reason we are going to take this. If at all you are basically multiplying using the same order of parenthesis or order of operations like parenthesis by using PEMDAS, if you are trying to multiply or to basically find the cube value or the square value or the square root value, if you are going to find, then also this comes into the picture. So 2 into 3, 6. Why? Because it will check parenthesis is there, no. Exponent is there, no. M is multiplication is there, yes. It will not check. It will also check for division, no. Addition, no. Subtraction, no. Yes. As multiplication is there, it is going to multiply two numbers 2 and 3 in order to get the result of 6. So based on the PEMDAS, it is whenever a mathematical expression is given, it is going to check as per the PEMDAS. That is, it is going to check first for parenthesis, next for exponents, next for multiplication, next for division, next for addition, and followed by subtraction. So as we are performing a combination of addition as well as multiplication. So according to the PEMDAS, it is going to first multiply these two and add the result to this value. So 3 into 4 is 12, 12 plus 2 is 14. So that is how it gets executed. In the same way for all these, 2 into 3, first parenthesis there, then 2 plus 3 is 2 plus if at all the parenthesis is there, first it is going to give priority to this parenthesis. 2 plus 3 is 5, 5 into 4 is 20. In the same way for this, 2 into 4 minus 1 is 3, 2 into 3 is 6, 5 into 2 plus 3, 2 plus 3 is 5, 5 into 5, 25. Minus of 2 plus 3, irrespective of the sign and irrespective of the first priority is given to the parenthesis. So 2 plus 3 is going to 5. So this minus will get carried away. So 2 plus 3 is 5. So division and reminders. So whenever in the same in previously also I have told that whenever you basically divide two operands, the output is going to be in float value. So in the same way, if you divide 5 by 2, the result is going to 2 by 5, 2.5, and 14 by 4 is also 3.5. Now we are going to deep dive into integer arithmetic. So 14 by 4 we have seen here, that is 3.5. So whenever we basically divide, the output is going to be, as I have told you that the output is going to be in floating point or in decimals. But whenever you basically do this operator, the decimal value gets truncated. So what is the difference between these two? The above one in line number 76, it is basically, or in the cell number 76, it is basically performing a division. But whereas in line number 77 or in cell number 77, it is performing a floor division. So floor division, what exactly does is, it will basically divide the two operands, and based on the result, if the particular result is having any decimal value or the floating point value, then it is going to basically truncate it and it is going to give only the real part of it. This is what floor division does. So whenever you basically specify the two forward slashes, then this is known as floor division. So this is going to basically give us the 14 percentile 4. For 14 percentile 4 is nothing but this is basically a modulo operator. So what is this modulo operator does is it is going to divide both the operands and it is going to return as the remainder. If at all the first operand is not divisible by the second operand, then it is going to result in 1, else it is going to give the remainder as it is. If it is divisible, it is going to give it as 0. So 14 by 4, whenever we basically divide 14 by 4, 4 1s are 4, no, 4 3s are 4 2s are 8, 4 3s are 12, 12 is nearest to 14, so 4 3s are 12, 14 minus 12 is 2. That is the reason it is giving us the output as 2. So as same for floor division, here also we are performing floor division. What it does is whenever we basically divide 23 with 5, 5 1s are 5, 5 2s are 10, 5 3s are 15, 5 4s are 20, 5 5s are 25, it is greater than 23. So we take 5 into 4, which is 20, into consideration. 23 minus 20 is 3. So the quotient is 4 point something. So as we are performing this floor division, it is giving us a output of 4 by truncating the decimal part of it. So now we are going to again perform a modulo operator 20 mod 5. As according to the divisibility rule of 5, the last digit should be either 0, the digit which is present in the units place should be either 0 or 5. So as the digit present in the units place is 0, we can clearly say that this particular number 20 is divisible by 5. That as the number 20 is divisible by this operand, as first operand is divisible by this the second operand, we can say that the modulo operator is going to return a remainder of 0, else it is going to return a remainder of what will be the remainder? It is going to return the same. Again here we are basically 6 by 8, as the denominator is greater, it will be in 0 point something. So as we are performing a floor division, it will be the decimal part or the fractional part will get truncated. Running same for this modulo operator again. So 6 by 8, whenever we perform 6 by 8, it is giving us 0.75. So this 0.75 is being truncated and it is giving the value of 0. Same for the other thing, irrespective of the sign. Minus 17 by 5, don't consider 17 minus into consideration. First we divide 17 by 5, 5 3s are 15, 15, 5 3s are 15, as the quotient 15, 5 3s are 15, yes, quotient is 3, we are going to get this as 3. I am going to there is basically a rule for this. I am going to show you in my upcoming cells. So dividend is equal to quotient into divisor plus remainder. So what is dividend, what is quotient, what is remainder? Let us take an example. Let us consider we are dividing a number 11 with 2. So as whenever we basically perform, see, let us I'm adding a cell here. So let us consider we are performing, let us consider we are performing 11 by 2. So whenever we perform 11 by 2, here the 11, the first operand 11 is basically known as the dividend, and 2 is nothing but the divisor. So in order to find the value of dividend, we basically multiply quotient, that is this, into divisor, 5 into 2 plus 1, in order to get the dividend. So in the same way, if you for example if you want to so this is all the same, minus 3.4. This is basically a normal this thing. 17 colon the forward slash is minus 5 minus 4. It is basically rounding off to the nearest one. Same with this thing. Minus 17 divided by 5. 5 3 is 15. 2. Okay. 5 4s are 20. Yes. Minus 3.4. Normal division is going to take place here. Same here. Same in this case. Minus gets cancelled. 17 by 5 by 3 is 15. The decimal parts gets truncated in the 41 cell as well. Same, it is going to basically return the this one. What do you say? It is going to basically return the quotient. 5 2s are 5 3s are 15. 15 minus 17 minus 15 is 2. So it is going to give us the remainder. So basically. So this is how basically, so in order to basically get the value of dividend, we have to basically first multiply quotient with divisor and add it with the remainder in order to get the dividend. Now variables. What are variables? In my previous video I have also told about, in my previous video regarding the tokens, I have talked about variables. Variables are nothing but reserved memory locations. Why are they called as reserved memory locations? Because whenever we basically create a variable, some memory is being reserved to that particular variable. So let us consider we have basically created a variable radius wherein we have stored a value of 3, and here this radius is a variable and 3 is nothing but a literal. Literal is nothing but the data given to a variable. So whenever we basically run this in the Python interpreter, for this particular 3, as the type of this 3 is an integer, for integer some memory is being allocated for this variable in the memory. Same in the case of pi. So using these two we can basically find the area of circle, which gives us the value of 84.78. Or we can also rewrite the same equation by like this: area underscore of underscore circle, sorry, area underscore of underscore circle is equals to pi into pi r square. So as it is pi r square, pi into radius star 2. We can also write this. So enter area underscore. So whenever you basically see so for example, if you want to write it in a fast way, if you don't have interest to type, then what you can do is you can type the first this thing, and you can basically hit the tab button. It is going to give the area of the circle, and you can press enter, and you can basically return the same. It is going to, sorry, 1 minute, pi into radius square, pi r square. Okay, sorry, pi r square. Sorry, not like this. You can also write like this. Pi into radius into radius. You can also write it like this. Not to, sorry, pi into radius 3.1499 into 3. 4, yes. Sorry, we can't specify like this. My bad. I'm extremely sorry for that mistake. So area of circle, we can basically, according to the formula, we can basically write it as pi r squared. So r squared as in radius into radius, it can be written as like this. But this is wrong. Actually, we can write this as radius as it is r squared. This is correct, which I have written previously. It is correct. This cannot be written like this. Pi r square can be written like this. So because 3 squared is 9 into 3.14. if you basically calculate 9 into 3.14 by adding one more cell, I'm going to correct it. So 9 into 3.14 it is going to give the value of 28.26. So the code which is being written here, instead of 2, they have written I have written it as radius again. Oh, sorry, my bad, it is a mistake. It should be radius square or r squared. So r squared, so squared value can be written as star 2. If it is a cube value, star 3. So pi according to the formula, pi r square, pi into radius squared. So we are getting a value of 28.26, which is nothing but the area of the circle. If you so basically, if you want to know, let us consider we have created a variable here and stored a value of 3. If at all you want to know what type of value which we have specified, you can use the type function in order to do that. So as I have told you, in triple quotes we can also specify the lines which are specified in triple quotes are basically doc strings. So I'm going to explain you the doc string here itself. So whenever you basically use any function, either it is a built-in function or it is user-defined function, whenever you write in user-defined function, we have to write the doc string, but whereas in built-in functions in Python, the doc string will be already written. So in order to have a look at the doc string, what you can do is you have to write the function name without giving any arguments within it, and you have to basically hit shift and tab. Whenever you hit shift and tab, you basically get the doc string. So doc string tells us what exactly is this function going to do. So type of object, so the object's type, object can be a variable or any other thing. So it is going to basically return the type of the data that is present in that particular object. So this is nothing but a doc string. A doc string tells us what exactly this particular function doing. So is this type of radius, it is basically telling what type of data is being stored in this variable radius. So as it is integer, it is going to give us it as int. The type of pi is float because it is having a decimal fractional part as well. 100, type of 100 is again int. 1.2, type of 1.2 is float. Assigning a variable, we can also basically give a variable value, like in the above example we have given radius is equal to 3. We can also basically give a is equal to 2. But there is one more most important thing which we have to keep in mind. The starting character, the first alphabet of a variable should not be a number. Let us consider we have given us 5a. 5a is equal to 45. It is going to throw an error because invalid syntax, because according to the naming convention of the variables in Python, the variables should not have a numeric number as a first character. It should be either an alphabet or an underscore. If at all, if you replace this with an underscore, then it is going to run underscore a. We can also basically have a look at type of a, type of underscore a, then it is going to return a value of int, output of int. This is how, this is the basically this is the basic introduction to numeric data types and variables in Python, and this is how you basically practically code in Python. Thank you for watching this video. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed. Please stay safe. Thank you one and all, and have a great day ahead. Keep learning and keep growing. Bye bye.